He sends, I'm ready to start a family. I say, you already have one. He types, I just have 3 kids. I say, I just have God in my poetry books. He says, I'm cool with not being your man. I just want to taste you one time, or you're going to keep curving me. I respond, Y-E-S. I already tell this foolishness to my homegirl. And girl, I have curved him as many times as food comes at a buffet.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Blended Conversations. Thank you for joining us, for taking the time out of your day to chat with us and to learn about the artist behind the art. Today, we have someone very special to me and a fantastic poet, artist, friend, Blaqwldflowr, out of Tampa, coming to us today. Y'all clap it up, clap it up, clap it up for my girl, Blaqwldflowr. What's up, boo?
It's me.
It's definitely you. Why we at is you. Why don't you tell the people who you are?
Ooh, easy. My name is Blaqwldflowr. I am the Black Queen evolving freely. I am a national slam poet. I am a curator. I am also a business owner. I own an artistry development collective, and I am a performance etiquette instructor. So I help people build their confidence on and off the stage.
And like that. Yes, you do. I love it. I love it. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this conversation. Born and raised in Tampa, or
yes.
Your family from anywhere else? Tell me about growing up in Tampa.
Tampa it means so much to me now that I travel so much. It's just a good, easy feeling, and that's what home feels like. My family literally have been there for me since day one. It literally started with my mom seeing me writing poetry. I, in Tampa, had writing that was so good, I guess they had it travel around the county, and different third graders at the time got to see my writing, and that was the moment my mom knew, I wanted her to focus on that. So it's always been easy for me, I believe, at home to just flourish because of the support that I have. So since a very young age, Tampa is just beaches, easy flowing, but it's also just fun, family, and a reminder of that I can go as far as I need to, but I always have my heart there, and I'll always be there to support me.
That's a very interesting, because, I talk to a lot of artists, and me being an artist myself, that the support came right away initially, okay, I am going to foster this gift. Being in a household that cultivates that gift early on is very important, not only for the artist, but for the person itself, because of the benefits that come along with the art. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So that's pretty cool that you got that in early like that. I think my mom recently sent me a picture. She's like, look what I found, your first book. And it was Mother's Day, and wow. I gave her this book with little avatars at the time, is what I call them. And they had little small 3-4 line poems on each page. It's 10 pages. And I'm like, when I did this, she's second grade. I'm like, what?
Oh.
So yeah, she's like, yep, I got your first book. And so that was very interesting.
That's so dope that she kept that. You know what I mean? And it's like me, I keep all of my writing, even from when I was very young. I literally have no matter where I go, I have a bag of just writings, and I know I could make it digital, but it feels different to me. I can look at it and I can see the crinkles in the paper, and it reminds me of I've been through a lot with my writing, and I want to make sure that my art is priority and hold near to it. And it reminds me of home too. So yeah, the support is everything.
Wow, yeah, that's cool. I don't know if I didn't even know if she had that. I don't know. I think I had some stuff that survived the fire in 2018 that I keep, because I'm like, oh, well, you survived the fire, so I'm gonna keep you. But other than that, I'm not very sentimental in terms of holding on to things. I really suck at it, to be honest, especially when it's handwritten. So, and plus, I think I stopped in school. I had to stop writing by hand because my handwriting was really terrible. So my teachers made me type everything up.
No.
So since high school, I've been typing, because that's what was required of me, because my handwriting was so bad. Yeah. Wow. So
now you still type as well.
Yeah. No, I still type.
I'm the complete opposite. I have to write it on hand. Like, I believe in, like, whatever I'm feeling or going through, it really doesn't come out unless I'm writing it first, you know? And so I like really feel the energy, and that's the therapeutic part about it. And there's levels to it. So there's my editing process. Then when I put it on my phone or on my laptop, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm saying. Like, so I gotta kind of get the feeling in the groove with my hands first.
Yeah, and I find that handwriting, when I do handwrite, is when I want to remember something faster. So the more I handwrite something, the easier it is for me to remember it, because it's like, I don't know if there's a science behind it, but when I write it, I do remember quicker. But I don't really write very often. And if I do, I get tired very quickly, just because I haven't had to use those muscles in so long, because my handwriting sucks, and I'm aware of that. But
that's crazy. A poet, my handwriting sucks.
Sucks. I mean, completely sucks. I think this is a good time to introduce the people to your first poem, since we are talking about how long you've been writing, your therapeutic values of it. So if you out there, you watching, check out this poem by Blackwldflowr.
Everyone always wants to visit my state. Come, press palms in silky sands, dive with dolphins, or taste citrus drip from lips. I'm a Tampa Bay, born with its breeze dancing in my lungs, and like Florida, I attract inconsiderate visitors, selfish men who only want to come and never want to stay, and no one ever asks the sand how I feel about the bodies who build hotels for my skin, then question when I still linger underneath their feet, just to deplete me of all of my resources. Like when I let my ex live with me, got him a job where I worked, gave him a threesome, and he still cheated. I have allowed men to explore without properly protecting myself from them, only to drown in contaminated waters. Like when I let my first take my virginity, just for me to trade it for an abortion. He said that baby wasn't a thrilling attraction, or waking up underneath someone that I called brother, that I didn't give consent to, and find a cell phone in the bathroom insidiously recording me as I took showers. Now I am paranoid, thinking I am being watched everywhere I go, and I have been told that I make men nervous when I am the one who is actually apprehensive. For men have used my body as a brochure. And just as Florida needs tourists to thrive, my ego has survived off them too. See, I was taught that a woman was nothing but a man's rib. Therefore, he could live without me, but I do not exist without him. And I just wish that my father would have stayed around long enough to teach me that my body deserved boundaries. See, I have written him countless poems, just different metaphors that he still hasn't responded to. But see, this poem is not about him. Nah, it's not about those men. This poem is about me, and how I have to stop seeing myself as a wasteland or an exotic destination checked off bucket list. Like Florida, I am a peninsula surrounded around oceans of adversity that could have drowned me, but I am still here. I am a flourishing foundation, a place where everyone wants to visit, but can't afford to retire. And see, Florida, it's not just Disney or Pompano Beach. Like my body, it's my home. And I have to stop selling myself short if I want to attract men who see me as more than just their weekend's resort.
Dope, dope, dope. I hope y'all enjoyed it. We're going to keep rolling. So I asked this question with most people just because I find it interesting for myself, because it allows us to see, as much as we are different, we are pretty much the same.
Right.
So it's always interesting. Tell me your favorite food as it relates to Black culture, to your culture. Yes.
So am I telling you one dish, or am I telling you like...
I mean, if you got one dish, but if you got a smorgasbord, kind of tell me what it is.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I need some macaroni and cheese, some yams. Like, I definitely need, I like string beans over collard greens. That's just me, whatever.
Okay,
Put some onions in it, Right. I need some smothered chicken. I love soul food. Like, I'm crazy about soul food. Like, I don't know if it's because I was young. I watched Soul Food, the movie. I don't know if it's because it's comfort, and it just reminds me, like I said, of home. Like, it reminds me of my grandmother putting those hours into cooking. My mom, staying up all day. Like, that's what I love about certain type of holidays, because they would stay up all day, but also she would do this every day. She would come home, from working hard with 3 kids, a single mother, and she would make a meal every day. And I'm getting a little bit emotional.
That's okay. Like, I told you. That's why we keep it candid. That's why I don't send you questions. That's why we don't have free scripts. We are open and honest here.
We and it's like, because I didn't realize how much time and effort comes into cooking soul food, and that's why I love it so much. But it also reminds me of now, like, traveling so much, how much I miss out on meals and I don't eat. And I keep reminding myself that food is love, and like, food is home, and food is, a sacred space. But just talking about this now has me just thinking about why I love soul food, the comfort of it, the time that it takes into it. And it also is a reflection to me of loving myself. Like, sitting with myself. With soul food, you gotta sit.
You gotta sit.
You gotta sit. And it's like, I don't know, in this moment, it's just telling me and being a reflection to me of, like, sitting with myself and taking my time to eat and enjoying the things I like. When I eat soul food, I'm not thinking about, oh, this is not good for me. I'm thinking about, wow, I'm sharing this meal that my mother or my family has put so many hours into, and I know they love it, and they do it with love and grace. And so, I don't know, I just love seafood. I mean, seafood too, but I love soul food.
Yeah, it's the premise of, if you are what you eat, then it's not just the things you're digesting naturally. It's the digesting that love, that time, that energy that they put into making it. And so, if I am what I eat, then I become love, and I become energy, and I become time and patience. So I think too, that's important to note as well. You mentioned something that led me to my next question about missing meals and not really slowing down enough to appreciate what you love about soul food. Talk about how you balance your artistry with your personal life, and if you haven't figured that out, what's that process been like for you?
Ooh, that is a constant daily task of, in the moment, even trying to balance, my career and personal life. I think that often when I think of my career, like, excelling, my personal life is declining because I'm putting so much energy and time and focus into my art. I literally have to shut myself off from the world. I remember preparing for SIPs. I stayed in my room for a whole week. I didn't see my roommate that whole week. I took my food, made it real quick, and had it in the room, and I just zoned in and focused. And so it is a very hard task, to be very honest. Sometimes, I might go without eating. I might go without, communicating or advocating certain things for myself, just because I'm so zoned in my art. But I am learning that balance, and I'm learning that it's very important to put that energy to my art, but also myself, because my brother always reminds me that if you don't take care of yourself, it don't matter about you trying to take care of people. It don't matter about the words you trying to get out of. You can't get out of bed in the morning because you haven't eaten the days before, you haven't, been hydrated or whatever it is. You're not caring for yourself. It's irrelevant on what you can give to other people. And that is a lesson that I'm constantly learning. And it's literally right now why I decided after tour that I was gonna be very wise about what I choose to put my energy towards. And I just want to have fun. So it's a balance. People see me at events and things like that, and they're like, you're always traveling, but it's work. And so I'm learning, what does it look like to go and have fun outside of work? What does that look like for me? What is that sacred space for me? And I'm enjoying it right now, and I'm learning more about it and learning more about myself as well.
Yeah, I think a big part of therapy was, for me, I started therapy recently because PSA, poetry in the arts, is not therapy. Therapy is therapy. So I started therapy, and it was the same. I noticed my career was like, right? It was like this.
Oh, wow!
It was to Mars. But my personal life, I couldn't just get it to accelerate or align with the same trajectory as my career. And so we worked through these things, and we worked through these processes. And I have 6 kids. So, balancing work and career, a wife, and mother and business owner is something I don't know if I've ever really planned for, because I never really intended to have this many kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it is very important, and it looks like self-care boxes. What does it look like to you? What are things that I need to be okay so that I can sustain myself through all of the hats that I wear? No pun intended.
But it look good on you now. But
And do. So I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that.
And it's crazy because, you know, I've even said to people like, dang, like even with relationships, it's personal or romantic relationships, because the type of career that I have, it to me demands me sometimes to get up and go. Like, you know, in the last 2 years, I've lived in 3 different cities. And that's because I have put my art as a priority, and I'm willing to sacrifice things that are needed to be in the environment that I need to continue to flourish. However, I'm learning that what would it look like to sit down and allow myself to flourish in one space? What type of relationships would I be able to nurture then? What type of relationship with myself would I be able to nurture then, to have a home space? And if I need to travel, but still be able to have that grounding. So that's where I am right now.
I think it's important to know she said 3 different cities, but these are 3 different cities within 3 different states, guys. So this is not, I went from Tampa to Miami, which happened. But this is, I went from Florida to Georgia to Texas kind of vibe. You know how my belief system about traveling and figuring things out and really starting to home in on those things. I can say that having the appropriate and the right spouse is so incredible. It's the reason I was able to do a 2-week residency in St. Croix with 6 kids. It's the reason why, if I really wanted to, I can still get up and go on a notice, because I have that support system. And for me, it's so important because it edifies who I am as a person and gives me that energy. It gives me that unction that, you can do it when you have somebody, the right person, the right somebody behind you, encouraging you, believing in your dreams, believing in your goals. It's very beautiful, and it's nothing like I've ever experienced. So even getting accustomed to that has been a challenge and different.
Yes.
And it's like when the shoe gonna drop. You know what I mean?
Come on, I feel that.
You feel me? And everybody know I don't write no love poems. And I was in St. Croix and I was by myself. And throughout the poem, I said, ain't no love poem, but it's most certainly an ode to the love of my life for allowing me to exist as I am. So, once you figure that out, figure what you like and all that good stuff, I think as artists, it's easy for us to get scatterbrained. It's easy for us to go everywhere. It's kind of like our houses be: clothes over here, shoes over here, computer over here, book over here.
and is. I got to schedule something. Okay, I got to clean up.
I got to clean up. It's one of those things I'm learning too. We as artists have to use our schedules, not just to schedule meetings and shows, but to schedule time to clean, to schedule our vacation, to say I am off on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that is it. So it's a learning process.
I feel that. And like, even when it comes to partnerships, I think that, I want to take more time to learn myself as an individual, because I have been traveling so much, and then trying to be in a partnership and like do this whole other, it seems like to me, it's like a different type of role that I haven't played before. I'm used to just getting up and going and doing my own thing. And like, if I got things all over the house, then it's all right, because I can always put it back together in my timing. And so what I'm learning about myself is that, with spending more time with myself, it's going to better me as a better person, but I'm also able to better my relationships when I can give to myself, and I can trust in myself and believe in myself, and undoubtedly move in my purpose and with grace. So it's thank you for that, because like, it was giving me so much love and energy too. Like,
Dope. I think that's a perfect segue into your next poem for the people to hear, for the people to respond to. If y'all in the comments, y'all feeling this poem, type in the comments that this poem is fire. Hey,
come on.
It's fire. And fire. Now, right now, enjoy this poem from Blackwldflowr.
To wrestle with depression is like coming to the match, trying to convince myself this is my weight class, only to suffocate underneath its defeat. I fear love will not find me before death does. Karma won't let me give the life to a child I already took from my unborns. I'm wrestling. Every time I try to duck under to grip my remorse, depression's force blocks me with the shame of being kicked out of college, pled guilty for someone else, yet I'm always wrestling with trying to trust myself to stand up for my own truth, and then always encouraging someone else to fight for theirs. I'm wrestling with my body's innocence being taken at 8 or 9 or 10 or some number I claim because I wanted to forget what it felt like for my grandmother not to believe in me. That's the only reason I entered this ring, was to prove her wrong, and I'm wrestling. I'm wrestling with forgiving myself and the opinion that I can never be a woman who leads or makes a living writing poetry. And I'm tangled in a tie-up with the fact that the pastor who was supposed to pray for me prayed on me. And I still went to his church, still smiled, still taught on love, all the while hating myself for sacrificing my inner God for a religion that didn't even believe in me. I'm wrestling with depression, dressed in imposter syndrome, like, am I really okay? Or have I trained myself to pretend that I am when depression grapples me? You got this, they say. You're a strong Black woman, and to them, this is strong. Enduring a battle for someone else's entertainment. Depression says they don't like you. They don't love you, only want to judge how well you articulate describing your tussle with mental health, and that itself is a struggle, trying to explain a battle that others don't think exists for Black women. But I am not angry. I am antagonized, and I'm tired of writing these poems, trying to figure out how I'm going to split myself open for you to find healing. I cannot save my grandmother, or my reputation at college, or my stepfather from his pastoral sins, or you. I can only save myself, and this time, depression, I will not let you take me down. I am strong. I am not just strength. I am God. Submit to my womb. I am present. I am here. I am not a failure. I will never be pinned down unless I put this pen down. And I ain't tapping out. I ain't stopping. I got you now, because I forgive my self-doubt. I forgive my self-doubt. I got you now. Depression is no match for me.
All right, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope it was dope. Y'all leave y'all comments. Don't forget, we almost finished, but we got a little more conversation left. I think I want to ask you your favorite poem and why.
I think my favorite poem would be my poem Vibrant. It's still new, so it's still growing on me, but I like it so much because it's a very interesting concept, and it's a combination of many different conversations that I've had with a lot of Black individuals. And I think it was the first time for me talking about queerness in a way of, if my child was queer, if my child was different and they were a Black male, like, would you treat them differently? And it really is a reflection of self, though, because I remember when I used to have conversations with my mom about, like, what if one of your kids was queer? Whole time I didn't know that it was me. The whole time I didn't know that I didn't feel like I could be my whole self. And that poem makes me feel as if I were to birth a child, then I would want them to be able to be their self. And that's a very, what people like sound very passionate about, talking about youth and being able to find their own identity and things like that. I'm really like, I be going in, it's because I felt like a very long time, I don't think it was intentional, I don't think it was anything like that. I know my mom did the best that she could, but there were people around me who would tell me literal things of, like, if my son were, gay, then I'd rather him be a murderer than him be gay. Like, these are real words, real things that people are saying to me. Real men are saying, like, I would kill my son. Like, telling me, they're dating me and telling me, like, nah, like, if we have a son, like, you tell me he's gay, I'll kill him. And I think that affects me so much because it's like, it's the reason why, you know, I always remind myself that I would love to be a mother, and I know I would be a great mother because I want my kid to be able to be the best version of themselves and pour into them nothing but love and affirmation. And, you know, obviously prepare them for as much as I can't prepare them for everything, but it's just that embrace of like who you are and being able to share that poem. How many people who have, come up to me and like, or I'm reading it and they're just crying, and Black men who are queer are like opening up about their experience, like literally just crying, bawling as I'm reading it. They're just like, you don't understand how this poem saved me. It's like, it's a different type of feeling for me because, you know, I really don't talk about queerness. I really don't talk about my own sexuality. And so I don't know, it does something to me.
That's interesting. You learn so much about the people you know if you just take the time to have a conversation with them. You know what I mean? And I think too, first we would like to say we do not condone violence of any sort to anyone, any person based on color, creed, religion, or their gender. And I think it's important to note that in Black culture, this is still something we have to hurdle over. It's just not something that's still really understood, number one, and for lack of a better term, accepted, number two. So I can remember my own kind of struggles, but for me, it was more like people telling me I was gay because of the way I act. I'm like, so I was an athlete. I prefer men's clothing over women's clothing, pretty much still kind of do. And with those combinations, it was people around me who I love that was like, you gay? Are you gay? You must be gay.
It's like,
and this me.
I'm just me.
I'm like, I'm not really in it. I'm not really anything because I don't really think about anything but sports and chilling. So, you know, as I got older, I feel like that caused confusion to me and led me on a road to explore who I was. And if I was in fact queer or gay or bisexual or whatever the case may be. And I don't talk about it too much, but it's not something I'm ashamed of. I had to take my own journey. And it's like you say, it's because of the people around me. I'm thinking these people love me and know me the most, so maybe I am gay.
Right? It's like, what?
Maybe I don't know.
But it's like, it makes you try to question self. And it's like, I feel like for so long, I haven't really been my own self. I've been this build into what people wanted me to be. You know,
right.
I had to represent a lot of different things, organizations, and it's so funny too. It gets down to like people joking, we know what you gonna wear a tight fitted dress on stage. Like people see me as this certain type of woman, but they don't know, like I have so many different parts of my personality that I think being an artist, people want me to just fit in this mold. You know, I've even had, you know, individuals I would date say, oh, I didn't know you would be the type of woman to do X, Y, and Z. That's because you have this idea of who you think that I am based on what you see on stage or based on what you want to see. And so right now I'm claiming, you know, all of who I am and like not being afraid to share that and not being afraid to show that. And that's why, like I said, I love that poem because no matter what, it's not even just about my child being queer. It's like, if you want to wear baggy pants, like I remember being told because I wanted to wear a sports bra, which I did do track, like I did sports. If I wear a sports bra, oh, I'm gay. Like what?
It's wild.
As a woman, I've been told, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say these certain things because then you're not feminine enough. And it's like, nah, I define what that looks like for me. You know what I mean? And
I think this is a perfect spot to watch this poem, Vibrant, that she's talking about, and then we're gonna pick back up on something you said that really sparked my interest. So y'all check out Vibrant right now. Once again, drop your comments, your likes, enjoy it, take it in, take away, and be better. Check out Vibrant by Blackwldflowr.
There is a phenomenon birthed when light enters a water droplet. The light bends, reflecting off the inside, separating its components between wavelengths or colors. When the light exits the droplet, it is born as a rainbow. And I have asked many men, what would you do if your son was born a rainbow? And they say, I would never want my son to be vibrant, as if black boys should never be bright or free, that it's okay for their daughters, but boys should be boys and not so feminine, that this will make him fragile, as if exuding feminine energy is a sign of weakness. One guy said he'd rather kill his son than to watch it rise, as if black boys should not see light, as if black isn't the intensity of all colors collaborating. Someone once said they'd rather their son be a murderer than for him to be gay. Rather he'd take someone else's life than to live his own. So I wonder what they'd say about my son if he were born a rainbow baby, which is a baby born after a miscarriage or a loss of child. 2 days after I found out I was pregnant, the father told me he could never be in love with me. The next day, a rosy red river crawled from in between my thighs. Insomnia runs my eyes yellow. I have never felt more blue. I have already lost 2 children, and straight men tell me that they'd rather kill their son when my womb has already carried so much death. Isn't it more important to love your child than to never get the chance at all? Even if he is born gay, when my son's light exits my body, it will be the birth of a rainbow. I'll assure him that black boys can be beautiful, bright, flamboyant, free, gentle, so live loud, laugh loud, love loud. It's okay to see your reflection in your mother too, because what's a man without feminine energy? Colorless. And if they try to get violent because my son's smile is painted violet, if dull men try to dim him, tell him he is too black boy to bear luminosity, I'll assure him to paint his life in living color. Dance, darling, dance, like yesterday would be jealous to watch. I have already survived the storms of losing 2 children. I have already dug through my depression, my son. You don't have to wait for someone to see how much of a bold phenomenon you are, because you are my rainbow, baby. And I'd give my last breath to hear the hues of his heartbeat, because no matter who my son chooses to love, I will love all the shine in his curiosity, knowing that he is a black boy. I will be grateful just to have him alive.
All right, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Enjoyed that. You said something about people. As an artist, people will define you based on your artistry, what they see on stage. So if you do, it's part of the reason I don't really do erotic poetry, because as a woman, as soon as you do erotic poetry, now everything you said in your poem, they want to stop you. This means, bruh, just chill. All right.
Have no value. Remember when you said lift your head, sisters? Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And if I am those things, that doesn't mean I want to be those things with everyone. We are vast entities. Artists aside, humans are so vast and so vital and big that it's crazy that people still try to put even humans, not just artists, in boxes, because we're so vast. That's how you can love 2 people at the same time. And that's how you can love a bunch of people, but in different ways. And that's how you can create airplanes and poems and movies. And we are so amazing. So I'm like, the little boxes that y'all think y'all could check off for people, you can't.
You can't. And I no longer want to waste time in my life trying to fit in to certain spaces. Like, it's like, listen, I got big energy. And if you can't be around this big energy, like, I'm not going to silence myself. I'm not going to silence any parts of myself. I'm tired of suppressing who I am. And it's so funny we're talking about this, because literally at the last Wouts, it was a really big deal to some of the people around me and myself as well, because I had been on final stages and doing this and that. And I didn't make it to finals. And my friend was asking me, like, are you really happy? And I was like, girl, I'm choosing this moment of joy. I'm tired of being sad, for one, but for two, I learned that a lot of the poems that I'm still sharing, they no longer serve me. The woman that I am right now, has a different voice. She has something else to say. There's more that she wants to explore. There's more she wants to talk about. For so long, I've been utilizing my art as a way of, let me make it sound a certain type of way.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, nah, B.
It's like,
speaking
of B, I was just thinking, it's like when Beyonce dropped, I believe it was the visual album.
Yes, I knew you was gonna say that.
We saw her sexual. We saw her comfortable. We saw her honest as we never did. And people was like, oh, she's trying to be something else. Oh, who is this person? And she's like, listen, y'all know me since I was 16, 15. I'm a 30-year-old woman, and this is who I am now. So that voice, like you say, no longer services that. You know what I'm saying? And that's so interesting you say that, because it makes me think about my poems. Now, my poems kind of age a bit well, just because I've lived a lot of life in 36 years. I've been through a whole bunch of stuff, and my poems are typically about those things or about myself. So they tend to age appropriately in terms of that. But I think the shift that I'm seeing is still, a lot of times you lose yourself in motherhood and being a wife and being a woman. And for me now, I am noticing and trying to shift that and align myself with, yeah, you are those things. But before you're a wife and before I'm a mama, I'm a Black woman. And I'm going to always be that. If I don't have no more kids, if God forbid something happens and I get a divorce, I am still woman and I am still Black. So trying to navigate that while still trying to, going back and be those roles is definitely interesting. So before we wrap it up, what's your upcoming projects? What you got going on?
Ooh, rest. No, that's my project I'm working on right now. I actually, what's exciting is that while living in Houston, I still curated a show in Tampa. And it just happened about 2 weeks ago. It was so successful. What people don't know is my first time even hosting live, like really hosting live. It was so much fun. And so we are actually doing that again for the summer. We're finalizing the dates tomorrow. So it's called Articulate, and it's really dope. It's a poetry slam as well as an art exhibit. So we have artists come out and bring their things, vendors come out and bring all of their stuff, but also poets competing for money. Last time it was 500, we're gonna take it up 5 more. We're gonna just keep, putting love and putting energy out into the world. And I'm so excited for that opportunity.
So you say $1,000 in Tampa. Let me see how much it'll cost me to come up and
Listen, come get this money. You can really come get this money. It's 10 poets. It's easy. It's fun.
And I got me yearly passes to Busch Gardens. So I'm like,
what's up? Make it a whole adventure. Because it's like, this is more so about like how we talked about in the beginning, Tampa. It's home. It doesn't matter how far I am. It doesn't matter me living in Houston. I still represent Tampa everywhere I go. It's like, it's that love and support that I have there. But to be honest, because of the support that I have there, I'm able to move around in so many different places. So that's one of the things that I'm putting back into the city, hosting. Some other things I'm working on are more things that I can put out, so that's why I'm giving myself just a little bit of time to rest. But the dope thing is I've been able to teach a lot more.
Nice.
Universities, so I can't give all of that information yet. But I've been able to get some contracts out for myself. That's more of the work that I'm doing to kind of give myself space to also still be here. And so, working on some personal things so that I can come out with more material for you guys to live and love. And then also having some events in Tampa, but then also just chilling, vibing, and teaching and learning about myself.
Nice. And I think artists like you and artists, the remote thing has made it so much easier, the digital thing, to expand arts across places, which increases arts tourism, which increases arts economic. The arts entertainment industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And there is no reason, if you are watching, there is no reason why you can't tap into those multiple billions of dollars that the artists, art industry, and entertainment industry bring. So thank you for your contribution to that. Thank you for being such a lovely person, for being honest and open, for being transparent, for sharing wonderful poems. Tell the people where they can find you on social media.
Yes, on social media, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Blacqwildflowr, BLACQWILDFLOWR. Okay. You can also follow my website, which is spelled the same way, www.blacqwildflowr.com. And also, I'm a performance etiquette instructor. So I teach people how to build their confidence on and off the stage. I have conversations. We talk about self-love. We talking about how to build ourselves to be a better artist, how to get on stage, how to make some money doing it, or what suits us. Where are we in our artistry? Maybe it's not to be a full-time artist. Maybe you love this as a hobby and you want to figure out how it can serve you better in that. Right. And so that's what I do with Blackwildflowrs Planet with purpose. So if you know what I'm saying, want some good pushing thought, work, and energy, you know what I'm saying, I'm here to help as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you again, Blackwildflowr, for joining us. Thank you again for watching us. Blended Conversation is a summer series. We go from June to September, where we learn about the artists behind the art, and we learn that our differences are kind of the same at the end of the day. So we'll catch you later. Peace.
Thank you.